Attention graphic designers, attention managers, attention sign shop owners, attention print shop owners. How are you charging for graphic design? Many of you are asking this question out there, and we're going to talk about it in this video, so stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? I'm Peter Karunas with Shopbox, and in this video we're going to be talking about how you should charge for graphic design. If you're a print sign shop that's been in business for many years, or if you're just starting out, you're gonna want to watch this video, because if you have a graphic designer and he's interacting with customers, whether it be on the phone, remotely, or in person, your employees are going to want to charge for design time. But how should you do it? And on what items should you do it? We're going to talk about that. Graphic design is a wonderful art. If you're a graphic designer, I applaud you for wanting to be in this business. As a graphic designer myself, I find it that working in a sign shop or a print shop is one of the most fascinating places to work in and develop your skills as a graphic designer, because you're going to be working with a multitude of different types of companies, small businesses, enterprise, people that have many different design requirements. So if you want to be a well-versed graphic designer that's going to design in vector, maybe design in Photoshop, photo editing, working in a sign shop is going to give you all of that. So if you're a graphic designer and you're looking for a career path, or you're looking to excel in your career, definitely take a look at what your local sign shop or what your local print shop has to offer, because I bet it's going to make you very happy. Now, with all that being said, when you land one of these jobs, or if you're working in a sign or print shop right now, how are you charging for graphic design time? Is it by the hour? Is it by the task? Which one are you doing? Or are you doing both? Let's take a deep dive into that, shall we? So there are many things that you're going to be designing in a sign or print shop. Let's take, for example, business cards, flyers, brochures, postcards. In this category, you're going to be designing a different type of design for almost any business that's out there. Whether you're a landscaper, a beauty salon, a restaurant, a pizzeria, whatever the case is, all of these businesses are going to need these particular items. But how are you charging for your design time in these items? Let's say a customer gives you all of what I consider the meat and potatoes. That's all of the information that is relative. Their contact information, their promotions, their services, their title, their headers, their subtitles, the information that you need to bring your design asset to life. So let's say they're giving you all of that. Are you going to put it all together and charge one rate for the printing and the designing? That would be what we call charging for the task. A customer wants to purchase 5,000 brochures. 5,000 brochures printed, I don't know, costs $500. Let's just say $500. Does that $500 fee include the design, or are you charging that separately? Is that $500 just the price for printing, or does it include the design? And if it doesn't include the design, then how are you charging for the design? Well, then you're probably charging either a flat rate for that task. To design this brochure, it's going to cost $200. That may not be the right thing to do here, because the customer might take advantage of a plethora of changes. Do you have some information there that goes into your contract, into your invoices, into your estimates that say, hey, look, we'll give you 3 rounds of revisions for free, and anything beyond that, we're going to charge X per revision? That might be something that you want to do if you're charging a flat rate. If you're not charging a flat rate, then maybe are you charging by the hour? This is maybe my favorite part of that equation, because it offers a chance to not lose money. It offers a chance to make sure that you're always making money, but you got to make sure that you're clocking yourself when you are working on that particular task. So if you charge somewhere around $60 an hour, and you're logging yourself for 3 hours, that's $180. Well, great, you didn't lose any money, but should you have charged that $200? Maybe it would have been better off to charge that $200, maybe not. Maybe you'd be better off just charging $60 an hour and getting your dollar amount, your profits for the amount of time that you've put in. We all don't want to overcharge our customers, but the customers do appreciate that if they take 2 hours, it's going to be $120. If it takes 3 hours, it's going to be $180, and so on and so forth. So they'll actually try and get to the end result faster because they don't want to spend more money. That's a helpful tip right there. Remember, if you charge by the hour, they'll be more inclined to get to an approval faster than actually taking the time because they have 3 or 4 extra revisions that you're including for free on a basic $200 design charge. But now let's take that to another product category. Let's say that you're designing a vehicle wrap, a van, for example, a Sprinter van for that example. Charging by the task here is probably not the right thing to do. You're going to want to offer your customer a price on your estimate for this is your price for the printing, and maybe this is the price for the installation, but then break that down even further and say this is going to be also a $60 an hour, $50 an hour, $100 an hour, whatever your rates are, to design the wrap first. Take that in steps. In order to get the product done, you have to have a final design. Some companies charge a flat rate for this. $200, $300, $500, whatever the case is. But again, it's that same first scenario here. You're putting a lot of time into graphic designing here. So is it 10 hours of time? Is it 5 hours of time? If it's 10 hours of time and you're charging $100 and your hourly rate typically is $100 an hour, and you only charged $500, well, now you're losing money. This is not common best practices here. What you want to do is you want to establish a going rate. You want to establish a design rate for your company that you're going to charge per hour when it comes to designing things like vehicle wraps or any other type of sign. If you're the type of sign shop that has an hourly rate and you tell the customer it's going to be $50 an hour and you clock that and then you add that to the bill, that right there is the best practices for charging the correct amount for that design time. And then you can honestly say to the customer that, hey, this design was simple, it took 2 hours to do, or did this design take 20 hours to do? We've all been there. We've all been frustrated going back and forth a million times with our customers. Now, there are times where you want to include graphic design into your one price. For example, A-frame signs, retractable banner stands. There's a going rate for these things across the industry. So if you're going to charge $400 for a retractable banner stand or $200 for a Signacade A-frame sign, you really can't charge the customer an additional $50, $100 per hour to design that sign, because then you're going to price yourself out of the market. You're going to price yourself way higher than some of your competitors are out there doing, because these types of items just have a flat rate to them. You know, this price includes your design is typically something that we would tell the customer up front. It gives them a sense of value that, oh, it's a flat rate. I'm going to get this product. It's going to be exactly how they want it for this price. So in this particular case, there are many different types of design projects that you're going to be working on, but you have to actually know which one is actually going to be the right method of pricing. If you're going to price by the hour, if you're going to price by the task, if you're including the design in this project. It has many different benefits to the customer, but it also has to be controlled by you, the graphic designer, or you, the salesperson, because in your price book or in your price catalog, you're going to have items that need to be included with design, and then you're going to have items that need to have design added to it as well. And that's one thing that I found very fascinating when doing this video and also researching this topic a little bit, is that many sign shops don't have a one way all for everything. And that's probably the right way to do things, is that they're going to have many different ways to include graphic design into their projects. If you take an item like a 36-page pamphlet, That's pretty difficult to quote because you really don't know how the customer is going to react with you on going back and forth with revisions. And you really don't know how much time something like that is going to take. So it's really common practices here to price the customer with the printing costs and price the customer with per hour design fees as well, so that they know what you're in store for. So maybe you want to start them off with like a block of 5 hours and take it from there. You know, if they go beyond 5 hours, communicating with the customer and letting them know, hey, listen, I'm already in my 6th hour. We're up to this rate right now. This is about living above the line here and being proactive with your communication with the customer, when letting them know that, hey, listen, you know, we're approaching $1,000 for your design. I just wanted to make sure that you're okay with that before we continue. And on the flip side of those things, you know, you have your projects where, you know, like 1,000 postcards. Well, again, you're pricing yourself out of the market if you include a design rate per hour on top of the printing costs, because, you know, you're going to have a lot of companies out there that are just going to charge $150, $99 for that type of product. And how are you going to do that with $150 for the printing and then also another $100, $50 an hour for the design? You really don't have the room to do that in those types of sales items, right? So just take a look at what you're selling, take a look at the time invested, and the common practices here is just to really be proactive with the communication, letting the customer know that this particular item is either yes, it's going to include design, no, it's not going to include design, it's also a separate item and it's going to be by the hour, or you can charge a flat rate. But my guess here is that many of you are not charging a flat rate and that you are in fact charging by the hour, which is what I would recommend you do as a new shop or even as a seasoned shop, just to kind of take advantage of the ability of always knowing that you're making profit if you're charging by the hour. So that's it for me in this video. I hope that you learned a little something about how to price design work. For me, I've been doing graphic design for a very long time. It took me a while to realize which projects I needed to charge by the task, which items I needed to charge by the hour, or which items I needed to include design in. So if you have any questions about which items you would include pricing on or which items I should charge by the hour, feel free to drop me a line below, a comment below, leave me a like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Thank you so much, and God bless, and stay positive out there.